may have heard this story, maybe not, but the gentleman who stands by, Forrest Fenn, has buried gold, diamonds, and I think emeralds in a chest in the desert somewhere in the southwest. I'm assuming it's the desert. We'll hear from him in a second. In order to encourage people to get outdoors and just enjoy the great outdoors for what it is. And he has a book in which he includes a poem, and in the poem somewhere there are different clues as to where the treasure might be buried, but let's get acquainted, number one. Mr. Forrest Fenn, good to have you on the program. Thanks for being here. How are you?
Well, I'm doing fine, and thank you very much. I'm pleased to be here.
You bet. Was it about 3 years ago you first buried it, or more recently?
Well, something like that. I'm 82 years old now, and I buried it when I was either 79 or 80 years old.
And what was the backstory on that? From what I understand, I guess you got some news about your health that, you might not be in great shape forever, so you decided to do something, I guess, as part of a legacy, and...
Well, I think a little bit of all of that. I was diagnosed with cancer, and they gave me a 20% chance of living, and so I decided that, if I've got to go, I'm just going to take some of it with me. That was the reason for the treasure chest story.
So you have some millions. It's not everything you had. This just sounded like a fun thing to do.
Well, I'm trying to get the kids off the couch and out into the countryside so they can smell the sunshine. I think it's important today.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I guess a number of people have been out there searching for it already, correct?
There have been hundreds. This morning I passed 9,400 emails.
Wow. And I haven't looked, but I know on YouTube some people have chronicled their search for it. Now, the poem, I'm not going to take the time to read it here. It's, not that it's lengthy. I'm just not that good at reading prose. But in that poem, there are about how many different clues as to where the treasure might be?
There are 9 clues in the poem, and the poem is in my book, and it's also on my website.
And the website is?
OldSantaFeTradingCo.com.
OldSantaFeTradingCo.com.
That'll get it.
Yeah, you've been in the art dealing business. I guess you were in Vietnam. You flew for the Air Force in Vietnam, shot down twice, settled in New Mexico, and this has been, at least collecting along these lines, has been your lifelong ambition. When you decided what was going into this chest to be buried, did you try to work it so it would be about $1 million worth, or how did you decide what would go in there and what would not?
Well, I just started buying, acquiring gold nuggets and gold coins and precious gems and stones and rubies and diamonds and emeralds. I just wanted to fill that chest up so it would be worthwhile for somebody to get out in the sunshine and search for it. I've had so much fun finding these things over the last 75 years. I just thought I'd give somebody else the same opportunity.
Well, I think it's great. I mean, is the chest sort of the quintessential chest of gold I might picture in my mind, or what is the chest made of?
The chest is cast bronze. It's an antique cast bronze chest. It's a beautiful thing.
And I don't expect...
I gave $25,000 for the chest.
Really? I don't expect you to divulge anything. Is it in New Mexico?
Well, I'm not going to answer that question.
Okay.
Well, the answer I'll give to that is it's somewhere in the mountains north of Santa Fe.
All right. No, that's fair enough. I didn't know if you were at least that specific as to give to give a state. I mean, New Mexico's a pretty big place. You're not really tipping your hand on that one.
The Rocky Mountains are pretty big too.
Yeah, you're right. North of Santa Fe stretches for a ways, doesn't it?
It goes all the way up into Canada, yes, sir.
Well, that was my next question. Is it in the United States of America?
Well, I'm not going to tell you that.
Okay.
You want me to put an X on a map for you?
No. And I know I can't trip you up. I'm just wondering. So it's pretty wide open. It's in the mountains somewhere north of Santa Fe.
That's correct.
Are most people who are looking closer to where you live, as far as you know?
I think most people are looking in New Mexico, probably.
Waste of time, isn't it? Just kidding. Okay.
There's a lot of people looking. I expect 5,000 people to be looking over the spring break.
I wouldn't be surprised if it got higher than that. Is this the first poem you've ever written?
Well, it's the first one I ever published, yes.
I mean, you came up with 9 clues and figured out a way to work them into the poem.
Well, I tweaked that poem for a long time, changing words as things changed, and I think I worked on it for like 12 years before I finally hit the treasure.
Wow. So I'm wondering if somebody could go back and track your cell phone locations 3 years ago and see where all you went in the continental U.S.
Well, they certainly could. If I had a cell phone, I would encourage them to do that. I don't use a cell phone.
Yes. So to assume that, well, I hope you live a long and happy life, but if you're not around, say, in 5 years and nobody finds it in 5 years, then maybe they'll find it in 15 years, or maybe it'll be 100. Nobody really knows.
Or 10,000. You know, the Rosetta Stone was buried 2,000 years before somebody found it.
Did you have any co-conspirators in this, or did you do it on your own?
No. There's an old saying, two people can keep a secret if one of them is dead.
I'll give you that, okay? All right.
I'm the only one that knows where the treasure is.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking to myself, you know, if you buried it when you were 79 or 80, maybe you didn't climb to 8,000 feet to bury it. Of course, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm not expecting you to say yay or nay to any of this. I'm just...
Well, I'll give you a clue just for your listeners.
All right.
No one should search for the treasure where a 79 or 80-year-old man could not take it.
See? I was on the right path. I was on the right path. So if somebody finds it, would we expect them to call the IRS, or what do you think would happen? Is there a note in there anywhere that congratulates them, or anything to that effect?
For the first hour, they're going to be in shock when they open the lid and take a first look at that treasure.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've often thought that the type of person that can find that treasure is the type of person that can't keep it quiet. Whether he talks to the IRS about it or not, I'm not going to get in that arena.
And he's probably going to want the publicity. He or she's going to want the publicity out of it anyway.
Well, that's right. I would think so.
Do you know if people have come from abroad to search for it? I mean, it's fairly early on. I'm sure Americans will be the first, but there are probably people around the world, you know, planning a vacation quest.
Yeah, yes, sir. There's a man in London that has flown to America 2 times looking for the treasure. He flies over here, spends 2 days looking, then flies back to London.
I'm sorry, he's wasting his time. 2 days isn't going to get it done. Do you know if he's gone to the same location or same general location both times?
Well, it's the thrill of the chase, and, you know, and that's what people are interested in, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
When you buried it, did you bring a shovel?
Now, I didn't say that I buried it. I said I hid it.
You hid it.
That's not to say it isn't buried, but I've never used that word.
You've never used the word, so maybe you did and maybe you didn't. How about a pickaxe?
About what?
A pickaxe, a pick.
Well, you can take whatever you want to. I'm not sure you need those things, but it's your option.
Yeah? It's in a hollowed-out tree, isn't it?
Well, there's lots of trees out there.
Yes, there are. You got to narrow it down to the right tree.
That's right.
Would there be a problem in this area if a forest fire went through?
There could be a problem with a forest fire, earthquake, a tsunami, you know, mudslide. Sure, there's problems over. You know, nature's a wonderful thing. It never stays the same. You can never predict what's going to happen.
Right. If someone found it tomorrow, would you bury another one?
No. This is my swan song. I don't expect anybody to find it tomorrow. Nobody's gonna happen on that treasure chest. They're gonna have to figure out the clues and think and plan and go directly to it. That's possible.
You know, I've seen in some of the news stories about this a photo or two of all these gold coins sitting in a chest. Is that just, you know, some file photo they found, or do you have photos of it that you shared with the press?
Well, I have photographs of the chest before I hit it, but I might say that there's more than 20 troy pounds of gold in that chest. There are hundreds of rubies and emeralds and diamonds and sapphires and hundreds of gold nuggets and 265 gold coins.
I think I asked this earlier on, but I don't remember your answer. Did you try to get it up to around $1 million worth of stuff, or did it just kind of work out that way?
No, I didn't have any gold, and I've never said what it was worth because everything, you know, the price of gold goes up and down every day, and some of the coins are worth more than the numismatic value than the spot of gold.
So the $1 million, and it's no doubt worth a lot of money, but the $1 million is a price tag the media put on it at some point?
Yes, they have done that.
Okay.
The media has claimed there's $3 million in the chest, but I don't think there's $3 million there.
But there's probably at least $1 million, huh?
But there's enough to make a person want to go out and find it.
Well, that's good enough. Let me work in a quick question or two from the audience. I won't keep you forever here, but Steve, go ahead. Your question for Mr. Forrest Fenn.
Yeah, no disrespect, but I was just wondering, how do we know this guy's for real?
let me ask you this, sir. What can I do that would make you believe it?
Nothing. I just.
Well, put it to you this way. Maybe I'll paraphrase for Steve, the caller. This would be a great practical joke.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, if somebody read my book, they would have to.
Okay, I'll hang up.
Okay. It's true. But I might say that so that people won't think that the treasure chest is a hoax to make money on my book, I gave all of my books to the Collected Works bookstore in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I don't make a penny on the sale of the books, nor do I get my cost back. I published the book myself.
Well, on top of that, you put the poem online, and it's there for anybody. They don't have to buy the book to get the clues out of the poem, right?
But you don't have to buy the book to get the clues. The clues are all over the poem is all over the internet.
Does the book give me any more information than I would get from the poem?
There are some subtle hints in the text of the book that will help you with the clues. The poem will take you to the treasure chest, and the book by itself won't.
All right. I guess if the one thing that I have read is from people who know you, they say if Forrest said he buried it. That you are a man of your word. There's no reason to think it's a hoax. So the previous caller can go ahead and pack his stuff and head west and do a little searching.
Well, I guarantee it's no hoax. It's for real, and it's out there waiting for whoever can find it.
Well, I hope they find it in time to share the good news with you. And if that happens soon enough, I'd love to have you back on the program, and you can tell us more about maybe how you decided where to hide it when you hid it. How about that?
Well, the location was in my mind for a few years. There was never a doubt about where I was going to hide that treasure chest. And if somebody finds it, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a call and you can talk to the guy.
That's a deal right there. That's a deal. Well, Forrest Fenn, I think it's a lot of fun. I'm glad you did it, and we'll see how things hash out down the road. But thanks for your time here today, and kick back, and relax.
And thank you very much, sir.
You betcha. Have a good day. See you later. I think that's fun and funny at the same time. Wonder how many people be scouring the mountains. I forgot to ask him another question. Was there a problem with it if it's on government land? I forgot. These are the questions in my mind. And what if it's on an Indian reservation? So we call him back. We'll just ask him those two questions off the air. I'll give you the answer. Those are the two questions I had I forgot to get to. Right back, 720 WGN. Pose to him, number one, what if it's on federal land? Do they have any claim? Number two, what if it's on an Indian reservation? He says basically he's not a lawyer and he doesn't care. He's not answering either one of those questions. If you find the money, that's up to you. I have my copy of the poem. Are there people out there who are good at deciphering poems? Like the Chicago Poetry Society. I'll give them a cut. We'll sit down and go through the poem, see what we can find out. I think it's fun.
It's almost like you have to know the area when you read the poem. You know what I mean? Because I read some of it, and it's...
Yeah.
You have to know the paths and where the water runs warm, and...
Well,
But man, I want to go out and find that.
I don't know why, and I don't have ESP, but sometimes I get lucky. When I first read the story, I thought Yellowstone. And they have geysers. Water runs warm. And I thought Yellowstone before I read about the water running warm.
You should go look for it.
I should. Probably nobody else in Yellowstone.